There's a difference between watching football and there's a difference between just hating someone. Guys like your brother, it sounds like, at times.
What do you think?
And I love them at times. Easy. Like there are people who have what's the word I'm looking for, guys?
A vendetta.
Not a vendetta. When something goes, a scapegoat. There are people who love to have a scapegoat. And it is very easy to use the quarterback of a starting team, especially if you already don't like him, as your scapegoat. Take a step back. And you know what? I'll give Easy a little credit here because we did end up having a good conversation about it today, and we were able to break some bread. So I'll take that back with Easy. But there are haters out there, people who just don't like Goff. The guy's a good football player. Like at the end of the day. Like I've seen Easy say that at times he's a top 10 quarterback. I've seen him, and then at times he's outside the top 10. He's a good quarterback. There's no reason to be like, Goff can't do this. Goff can't get him off the team. He's a bad quarterback. He can't play. He doesn't know. Like, no. Jared Goff literally just took your team to an NFC championship game. And yeah, he had a team around him. But if he's that bad, you probably wouldn't even win the division and make the playoffs. Like, that's a fact. So yeah, he's getting paid now, but like I said, he got paid, the second most, and now he's like the 6th or 7th most paid quarterback, and by the end of next offseason, he's going to be the 11th highest paid quarterback, and it's all going to fill right in to where you guys want because the market starts moving. Listen, why don't we all just stop being little like kids about this? All the people in the chat who want to go at Jared Goff, and let's grow up and let's look at, hey, what did Jared Goff do in the first half? Played a hell of a good first half.
I think he had a damn.
He knows how to play. He knows how to play. He knows how to play football. That man went 14 for 14 in the first half, and for however many yards, and he looked perfect. Now in the second half, an Easy sent it to me. He was 5 for 10, 60-something yards in an interception. Yes, we can look at that and be like, all right, what do we need to do to get Jared Goff to play that first half more consistently? And there was a 14 out of 17 games last year, Jared Goff played that first half. Am I wrong, guys?
I mean, he had a good last year. He had a bad stretch, but
he had a three-game bad stretch. But 14 out of the 17 regular season games, Jared Goff did what he did in the first half on Sunday night.
That's perfect.
Now I'm saying at that level to where he was playing good football and winning.
He's playing good football. Yep.
Thank you. Yep. So at the end of the day, this guy can play football. The overreactions of being like, I'm going to do everything I can to take this guy to the ground. He gave you everything. He got you an NFC championship game. You have a division title because of Jared Goff. If you want Jared Goff gone, I'm stripping all of that away from you. I don't care if Doc says I can't say anything to you. Man up. That man is your quarterback. All right? Man up. He's going to go win you a Super Bowl. If you don't have Jared Goff, who are you going to go with this year? Are you going to go get Sam Darnold? I don't want Sam Darnold. Give me Jared Goff. I mean, come on. What are we doing here, guys? Like, it's not, guys, it's not rocket science. This is easy. We've seen Jared Goff play football.
It's easy,
Stop
buddy.
acting like we don't know football. Seriously, like, what are we doing? I respect a guy like, I don't care. Jared Goff won you you're good with Jared. Listen, I respect, and I'll say this. I'm angry, so I'm being real right now. I respect a guy like Easy who will send me highlight film of good plays and bad plays. And he'll say, I'm just trying to figure out what happened in the second half. I respect that. What I don't respect are the people who are like, Jared Goff can't win you games, and he's bad, and he'll never be good. That's when I know you just don't know what you're talking about. I respect Easy when he does that. But when Easy comes at me, like he did last year, sometimes being like, you'll never win a Super Bowl or you'll never win a division with him. You'll never go to the NFC Championship game. And then he does it, and then Easy's like, yeah, I have to take a step back. That was on me. I respect that. But the people who are like, Jared Goff will never win you, come on, dude. So disrespectful. It's so bad. The guy can play football. Just because he had one bad throw. It's one interception. Dude, I saw someone tweet out, and you know what? He's a friend of ours. I want to get his @ real quick.
Oh, he's getting the @
No, I won't do it. But he was probably watching. He's a great guy. He does a hell of a job in the media. But he tweeted out, he was like, Jared Goff went 14 for 14, and then he throws an interception. He's like, I don't get why people would chant Jared Goff's name. I mean, maybe because he won an NFC North and he went to an NFC Championship game and he was the leader of it, and he just went 14 for 14 and put you up 20-3 or 20-7 or whatever it was. I mean, I'm more so on the easy side a little bit, to where it's like I can respect if we're trying to figure out where things went wrong when they do go wrong, because that's what you have to do to be able to bounce back. Like last year when Jared Goff went on that 3-game stretch of bad football, I'm sure him and Ben sat down for 3 weeks like, what are we doing wrong? What do we need to do? What do we need to do? Let's figure this out. That's respectable. Watch the film, get better. And then what did they do after that 3-game stretch, guys? They went and finished and won the NFC North and went to an NFC Championship game. It's unbelievable. All right, I'm sorry.
Don't apologize. That was great.
Hey, that was a good therapy session for you.
I might pass out.
You had to get something off your chest.
I'll say this, Boone. I think Jared Goff, we know what he is. He is a good quarterback. He needs to be protected. He needs a run game, and that benefits any quarterback. So I don't want to make that just exclusive to Goff. Any quarterback would. I mean, if you have a run game and an offensive line and a run game, or in weapons, excuse me, that can benefit any quarterback. So I don't want to just single out. But Goff, he's not mobile. He's accurate. He's that's just kind of what he is. And people bring up the spiral and all this stuff. I think what frustrates people, and this is where I do agree with the frustration, and I get your point, but this is where I'm coming from with it. And it doesn't matter what position you play. It's just that Jared plays the most important position on the field. But when you get paid like a top guy, you're like Jared. The last 2 years was making $30 million.
It's so easy to make that through 3 games, though, Jeff.
No. But hold on. But the last 2 years, he's been making $30 million. It's like, okay, he's underpaid. He's playing really well this year. Now with the contract he just got, I think people look at it like, oh, you paid this guy almost $60 million, and he needs a run game. He needs an offensive line. Like, he can't just put the team on his back. And I just think people, it's just not what you didn't pay him on that. You paid him because you had to. Like, that's what the market dictated. You had to pay him, and that's what they paid him. He's making as much as, what is he, a couple million shy of Joe Burrow or Josh Allen or these guys? He's not Josh Allen. He's not. He's just not. And
but these guys will pass him up by a lot next year and the year after.
Yes. And
like he's going to average out.
You're
like,
correct.
What's the easy thing? If you're under 12, if you have a quarterback under 12%, only a couple quarterbacks over the 12% cap hold or cap hit have ever won a Super Bowl. It's like Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady. Jared's underneath the 12%. Like, Easy was one in the summer that even said, like, he is under that pay right now this year. So it doesn't affect you. The pay doesn't matter. I get what you're saying, though. Like, people just, like, they think it. I just hate,
he's held to a different standard now with that money. It's the same thing. Remember when Stafford got paid and he was the highest paid quarterback and everyone went at Stafford about it? Like, this guy, you paid this guy's the highest paid quarterback. Jared's not. But it's like, dude, you paid this guy $50-something million. That's what he's making. And the guy, he throws 50 times and loses, even though most quarterbacks that throw that many times, they don't really win besides Mahomes. So that's like that's a whole nother conversation. But I do sympathize with, I do understand those people, though, to be fair. Like, if you're getting paid that money, if the Lions, like this week, if things aren't going your way, Jared Goff, you got to bring these boys home to victory. Like, you're getting paid like it. You know what I mean?
But like, even when he's been playing bad the last couple weeks, like, they're still winning games. And it's like, he's still going out there and putting a drive together if you need it. And I know at the second half last week he did, like, you did it. But he still has, like, going 14 for 14 and putting your team up like that. He could have easily played bad the whole game. And then if that would have happened, we could have a legit conversation. Or if this is happening through 10 weeks and you're sitting there and you're out of the NFC North contention and you're like, what's going on? Like, we just paid you. All right, then we can have a conversation. I just hate, and I hope you two are on my side with this and just understand where I'm coming from. I just hate when he throws one interception and I know the offense. The offense as a whole, guys, has not looked good for 3 weeks. It's not just Jared Goff. Like, Kevin Zeitler struggled. Taylor Decker struggled. Graham Glasgow I've seen give up sacks. Like, guys have struggled. Amon-Ra week 1 struggled. It's not like it's just a Jared Goff problem. This has been an offensive as a whole. Ben Johnson's been making bad play calls. I just hate he throws one interception and it's the instant scapegoat and for people to look and go, why is Jared Goff playing bad? Why is it Jared Goff? What's going on with Jared Goff? It's like, listen, like, take a step back, dude. He had bad games last year. He literally, like, for the last 2 seasons. That's why I thought when we went to the NFC Championship game, I thought the whole Jared Goff conversation was done. Like, he just did what he did for 2 seasons, played at an elite level, whether you pay him or not. As long as you keep winning, I don't care how many stats he puts up. If you're winning football games, Jared Goff is your guy because you know you can win with him, and you're going to keep winning. Like, why move off of something from your winning? I thought if he would have had a bad game or two, that people wouldn't have instantly been like, screw this guy, let's move on. I thought he finally won the fan base over with all the chants. That's why it's so defeating and a little, to me, embarrassing for some people and for some of the fan base that just instantly think, oh, Jared Goff sucks, he'll never do anything here. Like, it's so mind-boggling to me.
No, and I think there's a
mind-boggling
with you because I think there's a fine line between saying, okay, Jared Goff's having a bad stretch of games, and then there's just absolutely going at Jared Goff as, like you said, the scapegoat. Because, and like Izzy just said, like Ben Johnson's been struggling. Ben Johnson is still struggling. Jared Goff still struggling. Ironic. Once both those guys get it ironed out, they're going to go back to the status that they were beforehand. And I think that's only a matter of time. And I think most Lions fans, unless you've been sleeping under a rock for the past season and a half, 2 seasons and a half, this Lions offense is very good. And it's only a matter of time until they click again. If they've clicked the last 2 years prior to this, they're going to be fine just now. So it's just one of those things where you got to be patient with it. There always are going to be those fans that like I will admit, like even when Matthew Stafford was in Detroit, it did not matter which game it was. I was tired of watching Matthew Stafford. I didn't give him his credit. I've matured past those days, but there still are those fans that are like that. So, and those were never the fans that were chanting Jared Goff. Like even me, like I've never been a guy to be like Jared Goff. Like I have never once done that chant, and it's like I support Jared Goff, but I think there's just again the spectrum of Lions fans, and there's always going to be just the polarizing ones that. And Boone, if you think it's embarrassing, I think a lot of people do. Let them embarrass themselves. You know what I mean?
Which is fine. Like Trey here, Trey Emerson in the chat. He said, "Yeah, Boone, look away. Goff sealed the game for us on Sunday. He threw a dart to Saint for the first down and then ran for one. Like he had like." Even though he played so bad in the second half, when you're like, all right, we have to get this to win the game, steps up, makes the throw to St. Brown, and then runs for a first down, and game's over. Like, but people won't talk about that, but they'll talk about the 2 or 3 possessions before that. People, like the conversation, there was no conversation from people who don't like Jared Goff. They'll refuse to have the conversation about the first half. Refuse. No, they won't. They don't even want to acknowledge the 14 for 14. Won't even want to talk about it, but they'll talk about how he went 5 for 10 in the second half, and they'll ignore the last possession of him ending the game, and they'll ignore the first 2 quarters of him absolutely dominating, and they'll ignore the 14 games last year where he played really well, and the year before when they finished the season 8-2. Like they'll ignore all of that, and they'll just look at, oh my gosh, he just threw a pick. It's like an NFL quarterback has never thrown a pick before. Why did he do that?
If we think things are bad in Detroit right now with the Jared Goff contract, and this is not a shot, like Jeff, I think you'd even agree. But look down in Jacksonville right now, who just re-signed Trevor Lawrence. Like it is bad, and I'm not. That again could be with Doug Peterson as well. But Trevor Lawrence is a guy that like it almost looked like he just forgets how to play football at times. And at this point in his career, he should be entering his prime. So it's a lot better in Detroit right now than it could be in a lot of spots. Like Jared Goff is a top 10 to 12 quarterback, wherever you want to rank him. And with that, and a lot of times it's the same problem with those guys in the tier, why they're not consistently in that conversation. They're going to have weeks where they look like top 5 guys. But on the back end of that, they're going to have weeks where they look like bottom 25 guys or top 25 guys. So there's just, you got to, the highs and the lows, the up-down theory, Jeff.
I have breaking news. Big time breaking news.
Hold on. Can I want to, okay, go on.
Big time breaking news.
Like, it better be big. Boom.
It's huge.
Pause.
Jared Goff's going to throw an interception this year. Another one.
Oh, my
Jared
God.
Goff is going to throw another interception this year. I just want it for the people who don't like him. Guess what? Jared Goff is going to throw another interception this year. It will happen. It's going to happen. It's the NFL.
Boone, I don't think I can ever trust another news break from you again.
Yeah, that was awful.
I just had to get the people's attention just to let them know, hey, guess what? Jared Goff isn't bad. He's going to throw an interception.
Hold on. The reality, guys, and this is why and back to the point of people, holding him to the standard of which the amount of money he gets paid, which I think is fair. If you're a big CEO of a company and you're making more than everyone else at the company, they're looking at you like produce results. You know what I mean? I get that. And I think franchises, you pay quarterbacks to fix problems. That's why you pay quarterbacks. You pay quarterbacks to fix problems. You don't pay quarterbacks to create problems or add on to problems. So I think for Jared, like when we talk about Frank Ragnow being out, it's like, oh, like, yeah, it stinks. But like at the end of the day, it's like, oh, you paid this guy 50-something million. Like, go get it done.